First of all, thank you for inviting me, and I'll do my best with the English. If you have any questions, just ask Colin, that he speaks English better than me. I want to explain you about our projects in Catalonia, in the northeast of Iberian, of Spain, and I will explain two different projects regarding bad boxes. Of course, we have to consider that we are talking about roosting. Roosting is a major aspect for bat ecology, so it is important in conservation plans. We have really problems, huge problems about information in there. Both all tree-dwelling bats are seriously damaged, seriously problems with deforestation and management forests and all of these things. And also, house-dwelling bat species are in quite huge problems because of the buildings and the builders are in there not quite, they don't have information about bats at all. We know, we have information about, we have papers about the effective way to increase roostability thanks to artificial structures like bat boxers and others. And there's some nice opportunities to study the distribution and to know our species. We are in this stage in our area. So we feel like to know about bats in woodlands, in our woodlands, it is a good opportunity to use these bat boxes and to know more about their biology, their phenology, their ethology, all these kind of things. Also, we are working in a museum, so we need to know things about how to manage when people have problems with bats in their houses. So, bat boxes seems that it could be a good option also in this case. We know something about bats, of course, in our study area, and we expected that bat boxes could, species that use these bat boxes usually could be above all Puig-Montserrat species and above all Puig-Montserrat pygmaeus. We have been networking, capturing bats in different habitats, and we know that these species are quite common in there, and we have read some papers, so we know that these species could be found in boxes, and we are also interested in Nyctalus species. I don't want to give you a talk about some papers we have about this issue, but I want to give you an abstract that we have published thanks to our first monitoring period during 1999 to 2004, that we have some information about Puig-Montserrat natusi, first resident population of this species, the only one we have in the Iberian Peninsula, the only species, it is nowadays the only population that it's monitoring thanks to bat boxes. And also we have a really nice data regarding Puig-Montserrat pygmaeus using bat boxes. We have these huge occupation rates during breeding season, and we during this period we studied, we analyzed some variables like the orientation, and we found that they preferred east bat boxes. It was probably because of the wind. It is a windy area, really windy area, and this is by far the phase that it's not so affected by wind. Also, we checked two kind of bat boxes that you will see after this slide, that they are basically wood made, and they are double compartment and simple compartment. We don't have a so huge design, but of course we try to know if we have any difference, and of course you can see the black bars are are during breeding season, and the striped bars are during non-breeding season. During breeding season, that is where we have maternity colonies, and there are a lot of bats in there. We have found that boxes that with 2 compartments are better. They have better number of bats. So this is information. We also have been studying different support for for boxes, and we check it and we studied 3 kind of supports: tree, house, or post or pole. So we find that the bat boxes in posts were more used than these ones in houses, and in trees was the less by far. It is because we are talking about sun exposure and temperature. We have checked temperatures in these bat boxes, and we stayed more or less around 30-35 on average during summer. So it's quite, but high humidity, it's wetlands, so we have 90% humidity, 80%. It's 30, it's a lot, and with a peaks of 40 of temperature of degrees Celsius. So you have this information if you want to go further, but I want to explain, today I want to explain about our monitoring program in Catalonia and why we have done this study. We have 2 different habitats. We have tried and want to play 2 different projects, but we have another ones. And the difference is because one is basically in wetlands and rice paddies, and the other one is in the Mediterranean forest that it's close to Barcelona. Our why is because we want to recover bat population. Basically, we want to know about bat populations in Barcelona area, in all these forests that are surrounding Barcelona, in also recover populations in Delta National Park, that we don't have trees at all, or just few of them, of course, and there's a clear lack of roosts. In Barcelona, there's a corridor forest crossing one of the largest metropolitan Mediterranean Sea, so it is important to know which species are there, and it is difficult to study this species there. So we hypothesize that if we put some bat boxes in there, we'll have nice occupancy because there's no natural roosts in the forest. The first study area, it is in the south of Catalonia, and it's wetlands, basically wetlands, but we located the bat boxes in Buddha Island. It's a small part in these wetlands that is basically surrounded by rice paddies and also wetlands, and with some lines of eucalyptus and Washingtonian trees. There's no local trees in there. That's a point that it is important to know, because we have done a nice work with this, because we have saved these trees, the only ones. So at the end, it was important to have these ones. We use it. This is the bat boxes I told you. The more or less the compartment, the 2 compartments bat boxes, and the simple, and we have almost 70 bat boxes plus 16 during this period, because we want to know more about Pipistrellus natusi, and as you will see, we found them in trees. So in trees, bat boxes basically. So this is more or less the bat box we have, more than 80, and we have 44 of model A and more or less 25. We are not a clear design, because at the end I want to explain that we are doing this with people of national park staff. We are doing this without budgets usually, and it's really difficult to have volunteers. So we cannot plan these projects in a proper way. But anyway, we have nice data that we can discuss. It is also important to see that more or less we have a balanced support for bat boxes, and almost all of them are 4 meters high. It is because of our safe and of our collaborators safe that we decide this height. It could be more, of course, or even it could be less, because I have found bats in 2 meters bat boxes in there. So this is our decision, basically. And our monitoring was from 2004 to 2011, and we checked bat boxes during 47 occasions, randomly. Again, with no good design, when we can, at the end I have to do it when I'm doing another thing, but it's results that they are more or less good. I don't know if you can see this picture, but it is easy to see that this is a pole in the middle of the rice. This is a line of eucalyptus. This is some houses that we have in there, small houses that they are not habited houses because it's a natural park, but natural park use it for different things. And the other study area is in Barcelona. This is interesting because, as I told you, there's not a lot of effort and there's not a lot of projects regarding bats. So we have managed to have information and about this. There's 12 natural areas corridor that it's a different natural politician, you know, areas that they are at the end a forest line that is almost crossing Barcelona, that is here, and we have located bat boxes in these 5 areas because of also because of the people who works in there. We are talking about the climate, Mediterranean, with temperatures that average at 16, and basically climax forests with Quercus, but we find a lot of pine in there also. In the study area too, we have 210 bat boxes model A, just model A. Why? Because we used some educational programs to do these bat boxes, and that's bat boxes. It is easier to do than the other ones. At least we have this protocol done, and we use this one. So these are different nature reserves, and more or less between 30 and 50 bat boxes in each one, deployed on from 2003 to 2005, depending on the natural reserve. Basically, located in trees, because we are talking about forest area, and because in these areas we don't have houses and they are habited houses, so we have sometimes problems to deploy the box in there. But we have some sample, interesting sample in houses and poles, 35 bat boxes. We decided to locate or to use clusters of bat boxes because of we try to have different orientation also and give different opportunities to bats to move from one house to the other bat box, and separated from one station from the other, usually more than 2 kilometers. Inspections were made from 2004 to 2011, depending on natural reserve, and it varies also depending on natural reserve, but we have good data from more or less all of them. So about the results, in Ebra, in wetlands, I'm talking in the studio area now, I'm trying to mix, but I think it's understandable. In wetlands, basically we have Pipistrellus pygmaeus. It's terrific how many Pipistrellus pygmaeus we have there. I have to be frank that we didn't expect that, and we have really huge occupancy. Almost all bat boxes has been occupied. I'm talking about more of 80 bat boxes, and with quite huge numbers of bats. We will see it during 2000-2012. If you compare tree with artificial, I mean artificial houses or poles, supports and trees, we have seen that in the case of Pipistrellus natusi, it's clear that they prefer trees. It seems that they prefer bat boxes in trees than Pipistrellus pygmaeus. But it is a fact that Pipistrellus natusi is not using the area for breeding. So we have to consider that in our study. We have never found any Pipistrellus natusi female breeding in there. Epticicus serotinus, it's just a few individuals that we have found. About Barcelona area, bad boxes has been occupied at least once in fewer numbers, but the important thing is that we have found Nycteris lesleri, nice numbers of Nycteris lesleri that was quite difficult to catch it and capture there, and what we can conclude in here in this figure is that Pipistrellus scoli prefers boxes located in artificial supports. Even we have really few bad boxes in artificial support. And again, we are talking about a species that is breeding in there and a species that it is not breeding in Catalonia. And it's really strange that it breeds in Spain or in Iberian Peninsula. So we are talking about different behaviors, but these occupation rates are lower than in Évora, but quite interesting also. About the abundance, as I told you, the average number of individuals is quite high. We have to remember that the bad boxes are less than 20 centimeters wide and 30 or 40 height, so they are really small, and there are a lot of Pipistrellus penguins in there. And oh, sorry, I thought it was my tongue. And oh, I feel crazy. Don't move. So, as I told you, it's breeding season. In summer, we have the biggest breeding colonies. But look at that, our huge mistake. Once I phoned national park staff, I told them there's some bad boxes that they are damaged. And they changed all of them. It was just one or two. They changed all of them, located on poles and houses. So, breeding colony disappears. And we are in this stage now. So, we are recovering, but it was a pity. It was a pity. Yeah, it's Spain, you know. So. More changes. But it's interesting to see that also use bad boxes during spring, autumn, and even during winter, because it's we don't have temperatures below 0. It's really strange. I may say that never in there. So nice results. If we compare with Barcelona, but the average number of individuals it's really poor. It's 3, something like that. With few breeding colonies, with few specimens in there. Some ones during winter also we have temperatures that are quite good, but really bad results. We expected more. We are talking about now it's more than 8 years, 9 years with bad boxes in there. So it's really poor. The occupancy rate, it's also in winter time in Barcelona, but also it is more or less good, but it's not like in wetlands, of course, and most of the time we have few bad boxes occupied. In Évora, on the other hand, occupancy rate almost 100%, and I have to say that it's 100%, but sometimes you have a bad box with some problems, or with some, in some occasions with birds or something like that. So it is almost 100% when all is okay, and the problem, as I told you, and the occupancy rate it's really good, even in autumn and in winter time also. The tendencies that we have observed is that population it's growing up, and the occupancy also in wetlands in Évora, and in Barcelona it's strange, but it seems that it is declining, even in a low number of bats that we have, even declining. We can discuss that probably because of bat boxes are not I don't know, maybe because of competition or because of the bad boxes are damaged, or it's quite difficult. We have to go further in that problem. But the thing is that this is not a good result, or not expected at least. If we compare populations, another thing that is interesting, and it's quite interesting to go further also, it's Pipistrellus pygmaeus average per box increase in autumn from the first revision to the last one. But Pipistrellus natusi, even when we are trying to give them more bud boxes in trees, that is where they are mating, they are going lower and declining. We have to remember that mating groups are from September and November in this area, and females are there from September to May. So Natusius use bud boxes in different way that Pipistrellus pygmaeus that stay there all year long, with breeding colonies, with mating groups, with wintering individuals. So the point is that we are quite worried about Pipistrellus natusius, because maybe we can lost, maybe because of competition. We don't know. This is a thing that I can live in the air. But maybe because of competition, so many Pipistrellus pygmaeus can exclude, even from trees, boxes, Pipistrellus natusius. About laceless bats in Barcelona, we have also mating groups during this period, a range of 2 to 11 females. Females are also stayed from August to April, more or less. They are coming before Natusius, and males are all year long. They stay even in winter, but spring, autumn, and males all the year long. Cools, we have a few bud boxes occupied by bud cools, but we had an interesting breeding colony that also disappears because of competitions and competition. We don't know why, but we just have one breeding colony, so it's difficult to know what happened. But nowadays we don't have breeding colonies of any species in there. That's interesting thing that we have found just playing a little bit with our data. I told you that it was a forest, a line forest, that's crossing Barcelona, but it's separate. There's different natural reserves doing this work. But what is true is that some of these natural reserves are bigger, or are far away from Barcelona city. And the interesting thing is that it's easy to notice when you are checking bud boxes that there's one natural reserve in Barcelona area that has really interesting occupancy average in both trees and artificial supports. This one is a thing that we want to go further and study, but we have seen that if we play a little bit with some variables, my colleagues has done this work, and it seems that there's a significant relation between the occupancy rate versus urban coverage. I mean, and the areas where bud boxes are surrounded by more buildings, may say buildings or towns, even they stay in the forest, but it's a patchy area, bud boxes are less occupied than in the areas that bud boxes stay in a huge or bigger, at least, forest. Why? Probably because there's a competition in the case of the roost. If you have buildings close, you have more opportunities to roost or to refugee in these buildings. So, if you are planning to use bud boxes in some national parks, you have to consider that, because you have really low efficiency in these forests so close to the cities, or so patchy areas, at least in our study area. That's the funny part that I want to display you. When you are doing this work, the funniest part is people that don't know anything about bats, and they do things like this tower. It has been done by Natural Park in Ebra. It was a really interesting project. We have done this, this tower prepared to have more than 10,000 bats. But at the end, you can see that we have some problems here. we can check. It's about time, but we have decided to check all the bat box. There's different possibilities, but one we have observed is that even in this case, we have passer domesticus birds doing their nests. It's quite difficult because they poor these poor birds need also places to put their roosts, their nests, and they use also this, and there's a lot of stuff in there. So at the end, bats have some problems. But this is not the only reason probably. We have to check, but it has been interesting, and this is even nicer. They have done bat boxes with rice skins. I mean, we are in a rice paddy production area. They produce a lot of rice, of course. And they have thought that, oh, maybe we can use these rice skins to prepare a kind of slugger. It's not competition, of course. A kind of slugger bat box with these products. And we want to go further because they have tested some of them and they work. Pipistrellus primaeus use it to breed, and it seems that they can be more robust, more. They of course are not heavier, are quite good to use for monitoring. So we will see, but they have done this work. And another works that they have done is tried different kind of bat boxes, and in one of them we have tried to put a pit tag lector, and it's interesting because we have a lot of information, thousands of data obtained just from bat boxes when you are at home. And another interesting thing, bat tower. So sorry, the totem. They call it the totem. I have to go one night in here because I feel now that we have hundreds of Pipistrellus in this bat box, but I have to find the moment and other options. And of course, as I told you, I'm working in a museum, and I appreciate this work, educational work that we have done. I think it's the best work we have done. At least in Catalonia, no one knows anything about bats 10 years ago, and now they feel like one bat box by their house, and they want to collaborate, to participate. So it's a rewarding thing. I don't have time enough, but there's another paper that we have published thanks to bat boxes about Natusius habitat use, roots that they need in there. So we decided don't cut the eucalyptus trees and try to put new bat box, new trees, but not cut these ones. Another interesting project that you can have more information, or I can give you more information. We are going further in this. We presented this study in the European Bat Research Symposium, and we are real proud about that. Farmers know that these bats, we are talking about 5,000 bats in 80 bat boxes. 5,000 bats eating what? Eating in wetlands, eating mosquitoes, whatever. But they basically, we have seen that eat a moth that is the worst pest rice farmers have. And the amazing thing is that we have seen that they go to forage with to the moth even when the first moths are going out. So it seems clear that they are doing something to control the pest. They're doing a service pest control. And we are trying to go further. For example, in the area where we had these 80 bat boxes, farmers didn't use pesticides. They didn't do it. They don't need pesticides because the threshold of problems was really low. It's difficult to contrast and to say that scientifically that just is because of the bats. But again, in 2007, when we did that mistake, that it was to change all the bat boxes, again the molds increased a lot. They had to treat the rice paddies in the surroundings. So it seems quite strange, at least, that bats don't do anything. Conclusions that in this study, I go faster because, is that, of course, these bat boxes are doing a service, and farmers are trying to have nowadays their own bat box in a rice paddy. It costs nothing, so they decided, and I have to say they are giving us budget. That's incredible in there to do study of bat boxes. But we are talking about money, and that's good for farmers and it's good for us. And the perception of PPCs in there now it's like a god sometimes. So it's good to go further in this kind of studies. In conclusion, in wetlands we have really high efficiency monitoring program. It is rewarding. It is good. More than 70% of bat boxes occupied. So in this case we have really good information. Wooden bat boxes. We have decided that model because it's useful as educational. As I told you, children can do that in the school. We have observed around 10 years lifespan. It's not bad if we do it properly. Of course, we have to change it in a proper way. There's no problem at all, and we give bat boxes give us opportunities to study other species and other to have the opportunity to go further with Pipistrellus natursi information and other species. And as I told you, the option to have a pest control natural project in there. In Barcelona, on the contrary, I don't feel that we can go we can finish this monitoring properly because of the crisis, of course. We don't have money, we don't have people, and with this kind of efficiency, we will see. We have some vandalism because, of course, in close to Barcelona you have a lot of people, but on the other side we have first records of Nicholas Lady in Barcelona city, really close, and we have information about migration strategies, and the impact in the media. It is also quite good. So at the end, our pros to do this monitoring, or to finish this monitoring and to go further is that we have found, as we want, some different species, some species that we don't have any information, and we have information about migratory species. We have educational opportunities, chances to starting research projects like radio tracking, behavior, etc., and new roster opportunities. We have an experience, a really nice experience, as a good alternative for colonies using bat boxes. This building it has 1,000 Pipistrellus pimeus maternity colony and 100 Myotis Antoni, and they decided, and it's normal, to destroy it. But we stop it and we say, now it's breeding season, please stop and do it when bats are out. And at the end, we had this opportunity because it was a natural park close to this building, and we put this bat box type model that it's 1 meter for 50 centimeters on something like 50 centimeters high. We located in there 2 bat boxes, and 2 years after, 1,000 females of Pipistrellus were breeding there. Probably it's the same one. So it was a happy end. On the contrary, we had some problems with vandalism. As I told you, we don't have nice budgets, and the money is a problem for us also. And if we have no good efficiency, it will be difficult in some programs to continue. So we have also find or know about some enterprises that locate or put a lot of boxes in areas that they don't want to monitor. So this is a thing that is quite dangerous, and I don't like this kind of projects. I'm on time. Thank you for all, and I feel like it's more or less all monitoring project is explained in here. So if you have any question or